Okay, guys. I will be right back in a moment. Hey guys, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please leave me a message in the chat box. All right. Hey guys. If you can hear me, please leave a message in the chat box, so we can start today's lessons. And for the first time, when you join, if your first time to join our class, please you can in your YouTube, and there's because we are in a live streaming in a YouTube, and there's a chat, so you can use the chat to raise your question, or if you have some problem, you can let me know. All right, so we are going to start very soon. So the first thing, I like last time I already showed you guys to use the PyCharm, and we use PyCharm to install some package, and we also learn a for loop and a list. So I'm going to show you the website you need to go. So, and at the meantime, I will paste the URL to the chat box, so you can use that chat box to do your practice if it's your first time. So we use this website called Repel-it, and let me just use this one. Close it. Now we have Repel-it. So if it is your first time to join our class, you should go to this website. Okay, so in this website you can do your coding in the main.py, and for example you will run some script in here, right? And then once you finish your code, you just click on the run button. It will show the result on the black box. All right, so for example you do print let's get started. And now if you run. So whatever you type inside the print, and it will go to the black box. But since we already in using the PyCharm a lot, so what I want you to do, if you are already in our class, you should have your PyCharm and open your PyCharm. Okay. So like I have my PyCharm, and if it's also your first time to use PyCharm, you should click on the create new project, and then you will have a new project in your desktop. Like you open this window and click on the button called create new project, and now you can choose a folder. You click on your right hand side, there's a folder button over here. You choose location, a folder. Like I always choose desktop, and in Windows you might do just right click and new and choose a folder and create a folder for your project. And in Mac, and here there's a button called new folder. You click on new folder and you create a folder. And once you create a folder, you just click open, and now you will create your new project. So since I already create my folder called Python coding, so I just click on this every time, and it will have my project to turn on. But if it's your first time and you didn't have PyCharm, really doesn't matter. You just use the repair it languages Python 3. So I'm going to copy this and put it into the chat box. So you can copy it and just copy it, or you can click on the link, and then now you will go to this website called repair it languages Python 3. And if you still have some problem, please let me know, and just leave a message in the chat box, and I will repeat it one more time. And the second website I want you to go, of course, is we learned from W3 Schools. So you can also go to Google and just type w3schools.com, and now you hit enter. You will go here, and again, if you forgot the link, I may just paste on the YouTube chat box. And in the w3schools.com, and I will choose the tutorial and go to under the programming, and there's learn Python. That's what we are learning for a while, right? So far we already finished from here all the way to go down to for loops. So today we are going to cover some function, and we already learned for loops. So but it's good time to just let's just review what we learned. And for a while, like months ago, and we already learned the basic syntax like in Python. So in Python 3, and we have a function called print, right? Which I just show you, and you use the print function with the parenthesis. So whatever with the parenthesis, and there's a name in front, and we call this one print, is a function. And whatever inside this parenthesis, inside the parenthesis, we call it arguments. So we have a function name, and then you have arguments. That's the way you can run the function. So when you run the function, of course, it will help you to do something, right? So that's why we call function. And like the print function, you are just print hello world, and it will output something called hello world. And that's what we learned before, because the print function, it just like show you something in the on the console. What we call here is a console or terminal, or you can call it a display, and whatever you call it is just the output from your code to the console or the terminal. So the same thing here in your PyCharm. You can still do the same thing, like if you click run and then choose run, and now you choose your file, and now you can run this script in your PyCharm. And there's a little button here. It's called you also can click on the run over here. And of course, sometimes you don't want to run the hello, and you may have a whole bunch of script file over here. You can choose the one you are going to run. Like for example, I can create one file here, one more file here, and then you can run it from your PyCharm. Just choose the right file, and then you click on the green button and click run, and it will run on your PyCharm. So let's just go back and we learn Python, because Python is like it's not like the other programming language, because Python doesn't have that much syntax, and the only important thing for Python is something called indentation. And what does it mean? It means like if you want to have some code inside the other, we call a code block. So like if this statement, you want some code running under this code block, so you have to have 2 space in front of your statement. You can do 2 space or 4 space, and really doesn't matter. It's up to you. You can do 2 space or 4 space. And after that, we learn a little bit of the comments, not that much. And we use a punch sign to comment out things. If you don't want to run it, and you just comment it out and give a punch sign. For example, when you are doing some coding, like what I did here in this file, or maybe I create a new file, new Python file, and I will create a file called October. Let's just say October. So in my October Py, this file, and if you are working on something print hello world, so something like that, and you are doing something else like 1, 2, something like this. So when you click run, I gotta choose my the new file. So I click on the run button and click run, and I choose October, and now I have 3 of the lines over here. But sometimes you just saying, hey, I don't want my program to run this one. And the easy way, of course, you just highlight it and you hit the delete button and delete the whole line. But you don't want to do that. So you're saying, hey, I want to keep it for a little bit while and do some tests. So that's why I use a punch sign in front of my line and just make it looks great and the color great, and then you just skip this line of code. So I click it one more time, and you see that the hello world 1 is gone, because nothing show up because there's a punch sign. All right, so that's one of the way to comment things out, because you can put a punch sign in front of the line and make it gray out, and then is comment it out. But you can put a punch sign behind the a code, and it just some tips for you in case you forgot what you did for this line of code, and that's how people can put some comment, and just like what you did in the chat box, and put some comment on this video. Now after that, we learned variables. In Python, variable is very straightforward. It's just like a container, or you said it's like a box or a pocket or whatever you can put things in, and it is a variable, and you can put some data like number 5 or 1 2 3 4 5, any number, or 1.2 or something. So whatever you want, and you just put it inside a variable. So what is a variable? Variable is just like anything, like anything, for example, but not for the special character except the underscore. You can do underscore with the inside your variable as the name for your variable. But usually you will, like for example, I define a variable called my var, and now you can assign a variable like 1 to the variable. And of course, what we learned so far, we can do we can put a string. So what is a string in Python? String in Python is like you have to wrap it between a double quote, a pair of double quote, and inside here you can do I am a string. Okay. Basically, it looks like a sentence or any words, but you have to wrap them between single quote or double quote. Like you can do double quote. I am the second string, something like that. It really doesn't matter with a single quote or double quote, and they are pretty much the same. And now in the variable, so you can I always recommend you guys just go through this tutorial. They have a lot of information over here. You just go through that, and they will tell you what you can do with the variable name. And people like, some of the people like this way to name it, like this kind of way is we call camel, like the camel, you know. And the first word is all lowercase, and the second word, and besides, you can have the space between them. So for the variable name, it have to be connected together. You can use a space in your variable name. In the second word, the first character letter should be uppercase, so it looks like a camel, so something like that, right? And of course, you can assign some value to your variable, like what I did, and use an equal. We use an equal to assign the value to the variable, and we call assign. And if we really want to say the equal, like we learn in math, and we use double equal. Double equal means in mathematics is equal. Just what you learn in school is double equal. For Python is equal. So we can evaluate the two values or two data. We use double equal. We also have let's see. Well, what we have a lot of things here, but I'm not going to cover them. And after that, we learn data types. So in Python, see how many data type we have. So the first one is called the text type, is a string. So we call a string. And yeah, so you can have the string data type or numeric data types. Is like integer, float, or compressed. So what is compressed? And when you are in school, you might probably learn compressed. So, but some of you might don't know what it is, but it really doesn't matter. When you are in math class, you are going to learn that. But of course, we already learned integer and float. Integer is like the -1, -2, -3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. For float is like 2.5 or 3.14116 something blah blah, and or 4.5 something like that. So that is called float. And we already covered the leaks, and what a leaks means. We learned a lot about leaks. A leaks is like you have a you have a list of value. Like for example, I have a string called red and yellow and purple, blue, something like that. You have a whole bunch of things, but you want to put them inside into a variable. Like for example, I want to put it into a variable called my color box. Okay, color box, and I want to assign all these value into my variable called color box. So what I'm going to do, just have a bracket in the front and another bracket by the end. So which is of course you are going to close it, right? And between them you have a commas, 1 commas, 2 commas, and 3 commas. So this is how you can separate them, and now you make a list. That is easy for in Python, because a list, it looks like an array. That is what you learn in the math is called array. But in Python, a list can be changed anytime, and you can add some new value, and of course you can change the value. Like you can change the yellow to brown or something like that. That's what we learned last week, right? Like for example, if you have, I'm going to remove all this. You can change the yellow to be brown. So let me show you how to change it. And just have to use another bracket, but this time in this bracket we use an index. So in index, if we want to get the value from the yellow, so which is our second place, but in Python it was count the index from 0. That's why here is 0. So the second one is 1. So the index is 1. So it's 1. And I'm going to print it, and you can see what I mean. I print it. Now you run it, and it will show you the color box 1, index 1, actually is the second place, and it will show you the yellow row, this yellow color. And if you want to change it, you just like color box 1. I'm going to make it bigger and change it to brown. And now you want to output it again, color box 1, and let's see, I'm going to run it one more time. So that's why the first one is yellow, the second one is brown. Okay, so the same thing if you're doing in the repair it, you will have the same code. You just type in here and click the run button. It will show up all the value over this side. And if sometimes your this screen, the black one is full of things, so you click this button to clear everything. Okay, just clear it up, and now you run your screen. So I can copy and paste the code over here, and now I show you, just run, and now the first print is yellow and the second one is brown, because I already changed the color box to 1. And of course you can just print color box, and let me show you, just print Now you see you have the list, and this list is exactly looks like this one, but I already update my value from yellow to be brown. Now we have learned the list, and we of course we are going to talk about the dictionary. It's called mapping types, which is a dictionary, and we are going to talk about Boolean. So Boolean, we already learned that because you use a lot in the if function. If something that if it is true, and then we will do something with that, like here is if B is greater than A, and now you will do something on here. Okay, and that's all we have learned so far. And of course we learn while loop, and also we learn for loop. And today we are going to learn a new function, and we already learned the print, right? So we're going to learn a function called range. Okay, what a range do? Let me just show you what a range do. Like I have a 1000 range 1000, and just will output 1000 and see what it is. And I click the run button, and it will show you just a range from 0 to 1000. And what does it mean? It means like from 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 999. All right. So what I want you to do, just do exactly what I did. Just type in your PyCharm, you print range 1000, and have two parentheses to close it. And after that, we will use the for loop to loop through the range from 1000. Okay, so what I want you to do, just type print and range 1000. And you, of course, if you have PyCharm, you can do it in PyCharm. If you don't, and you just go to repel it, and now you can do the same thing and run, and look, you should have the output like this. And once you're done, please let me know and put a message into the chat box, and you say I'm done, and I can move forward and show you what are we going to use for the range function. Please let me know when you're done. Okay. And once again, if you have finished your code, please leave a message in the chat box so I know you are done now. And then we are going to move forward with the range function. Okay, so I guess most of you guys have been done with the print range from zero, just 1,000. So what I said is like, we are going to learn the for loop with the range. So it is easy. So like here, you do for, like, let's just do any variable name, like call number, okay, just number, or let's just say number, and stands for number, and in range 1,000. And now with of course with the column behind the range for loop, and then you can go to the next line, and don't forget you should put 4 space or 2 space. It really doesn't matter. I can do 2 space, so just 2 space, and now of 4 space, and you just print and and now once you have this one and you click run, and you should have a whole bunch of number like what I have, from 0 all the way to 999. From 0 to 999, okay? You do, now you get what the range do, right? You just create something like a list, but it just like you can iterate for each loop. For every loop, like every round of the range, and it will give you a number, and once you print it out, you will have from 0 to 999. So what I want you to do, you do the same thing like what I have here, and just have a for loop, and but in here you do the range 1,000, and now you print it, and you get from 0 to 999. And once you got this one, and please let me know and put it into the chat box so I can move forward. And of course I will do the same thing here. I just run, and we have 999. And basically it's 1,000 numbers, right? Because we start from 0. Don't forget the 0. So 0 all the way to 999, and because we set range 1,000, and it's not going to include 1,000, but it guarantee you have 1,000 loop. Every time you loop 1,000 times, and that's how you go from 0 to 999. And if you're done, please let me know. All right, if your code doesn't work because you might probably forgot this guy, the column. So you just make sure you have for and space number in range and 1000, and inside the parentheses, like all the function, you need to put the argument or parameter, and we call parameter into the function. And now you end with the column, and now you can have the second line and this code block. Inside here, if we do all the loop and arrow type, the number will change from 0 to 1000. All right, so I guess you're done. And we print the number. That's not what I want to print. I want to print number of let's say number of star and number of star. So how are you going to do the number of star? You can use the multiple. So like I have a string, I have a star here, and now you can multiple it. So in Python, obviously you do multiple with the star. Let's just have a dot in case you don't like it. So if you have a dot here, and now you have a number, and now if and this time if you change a little bit on here, and it will show you like this. That's a lot of dot, and I'm gonna let's just set it to 10 instead of 1000. Probably that would be easier to see. So I have something like from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 9, because we only have number 9, right? And here's a 0. So you probably have 1 to 9 dots here, but the first one is 0 because 0 dot is 0, doesn't show anything on the first line. So what you have is from here all the way to here. And I'm going to remove this one, and you already know the range. So I just remove this line. So what I want you to do is just change this one and change your range to 10. So you can print 10 lines, and the first line is brand, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And after you change, I finish this code. What I want you to do, I want you to have another for loop, just going back, like flip this triangle, flip it over. You know what I mean? Horizontal, flip it over. So what I'm going to show you a picture here. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, here, like this. You flip it over like a triangle, flip it over. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Just flip it over and see if it works or not. So how are you going to flip the triangle? You can have two triangles, right? One is you have the tip on the top, and you can have it upside down. And if you finish this code, and please let me know. I want you to have one of this triangle, the other one is flip it over, like from here and all the way, go all the way back to 0 or 1. And please let me know once you have finished your code. So you can do from print and see how you figure out to print your dot to come back like of course you can make this one, but how are you going to make something to decrease it? And once you're done, please let me know. And if you have any problem with that, please let me know. Also let me know. And once you're done, please leave a message in the chat box so we can start another part. Yep, I guess most of you guys have been done. And yeah, like if you have a triangle like this way, right? The first one is 0, the second one is 1, then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you want to flip it over, and you will have another, continue to loop it, and now you just add one more, like 4, number, in, range, let's just do 10. Okay, but once you print it, and how many dots do you want? Like let's say, because here you probably, here is 9 dots, right? So how can I just do 9 dots? So you will say, hey, why don't you just use a 10 let's do one more variable called let's just say n1, just a n1, okay, or n0, whatever you want. It's just a variable name. And now, but you do 10 subtract number. So let's see if you have a number here. The first time is 0, so 10 subtract 0 equals to n1, and now you would have 9 10 star, right? Have 10 star, and then the next round for this loop, it would be 1. So 10 subtract number is equal to 9, and now you do subtract 2, and n1 you became 8, and 10 subtract 3, and it will become 7. So let's try that. And if I have 2 loops here, I make one triangle, and now I am going to run it. So it will become something like this. And of course, the last line is 0 because it should be not 0, I guess. Let's just do it like this way first, and I will show you. But yeah, like if you use the 10 to subtract the number, you will get something looks like this, like from here and all the way to here. Okay, so in case you haven't finished this, you haven't figured out this one, and you just add something called 10 subtract number, and now you can have the number to flip it over, flip your triangle over, like flip it over. Okay, so what I want you to do, just do it this way. Okay, and if you're done, please let me know. Put it into the chat box. We are going to put the print function, the whole one, into something called function. And of course, you can do it in the repair it, right? You do the same thing, you type the same thing, and just 2 for loop, and you will have triangle. You remove this one and you click run, and now you have the triangle like this way. But that the first line is brand, and here you may come from 10 all the way to 1, because we use 10 subtract 0 as the first line. And now you have all the way to 9. So 10 subtract 9 equal to 1. So you have a triangle, like a big fat triangle like this way. And once you're done, please let me know, put a message in the chat box. So we are going to learn function. I don't know. Vanessa said if you change the doc to the column, and I will see what happened. She said so weird, and yeah, a little bit weird, but still looks nice. Okay, so yeah, I guess most of you guys have been finished the code, and it's not that hard. If you have got some error, please let me know, and I will help you to figure it out. So you see that every time we do a print function, right? Print it. So can we define our own function? So if on the first line, you go all the way here, we are going to define our own function. Let's create a function called dot. So you use a keyword called def, and now you have the function name. My function name is called dot, but you can have any name, like you can have do or whatever name you want, just like the variable name, and it is okay. You can have a dot, and now you come with the parentheses, just like here, the parentheses, but inside here we put an argument, like we have something called, let's say call, let's just put another variable name called mm. Let's just say mm as a variable name, parameter argument name. So it really doesn't matter, but it just stands for parameter, or you said it's a variable inside our function. So you have the mm as the parameter passing from whoever is going to call your function. So inside here you do print, and you do like dot in multiple by mm. Okay, so that's what I created a function, my own function. So instead of every time you do print this one, and you can just do now you can do dot and So what I do here is I calling my own function, but I passing a parameter called num into the dot here, and you pass the num to the mm. You pass it to the mm. Now it will print this one, the dot one, and I will do the same thing for this one, this line, the line 9, and I just remove it, and now I do dot and N1. So if you change this one, use your own function, and I will run one more time, and you should get exactly the same triangle you have before. Looks like this way, the fat triangle, thick one. Okay, that's what I want you to do. You just change the create your own function and call dot, and you have a argument or parameter, whatever you set is inside your parenthesis. You put a variable name. You can put any name, like what I put here is mm, and you are going to print a dot multiplied by mm, which means you are going to print this much of the dot. And now you do the range again from 0 to 10, and you call dot, and once you call dot function, you put a number here, and it will do this one. They will print it, and just like what you did for the print. And again, for the next loop, you pass another argument called n1, and you also pass a number here, and you print it, and you get also get the output for the print. And so you create your own function, and now you do exactly what you want to do. So we have two loops, and you have one function, and you print it out, and it will show the same big fat triangle. Once you're done, please let me know, and I'm going to show you the homework you are going to do for this week. Okay, so I want you to finish this code as soon as possible. Once you are finished, please let me know. Okay. All right, so I guess that you should finish this code when you are home. And the homework for today, for this week, is like because next week is Thanksgiving, right? So we may skip the next week's class. And for your homework is right now we have an output like this thick triangle, thick one. And what I want you to do is you are going to output something like this one. You flip this one triangle over, flip it over, okay, and see if you can figure it out. So the trick for printing something here, brand, is you can print a space, and then you can print a space, okay. Once you're done, please send me an email with your homework. You can print the code and have your dad or mom take a picture, or you can have a screenshot. And like what I have here, you can take a screenshot and send it to me to the to the help@dataarea.ca. Please send your homework to help@dataarea.ca, like here. Okay, and please send me an email and see who can figure it out. Make some triangle like this way. To flip your triangle, flip it like this side. You do it, flip it like this side. Okay, and once you're done, please send me an email to help@dataarea.ca. Okay, send me to this email. Send your homework to this email, to help@dataarea.ca. Okay, so yeah, that's for the basic level, and we're going to continue with the junior level. And for the basic level, that's it for today. And probably see you the next week. Okay, next week. And don't forget your homework. You need to create something like this kind of triangle. And I'm pretty sure you create this triangle. And now what you want to do, you create this kind of triangle. Okay, this kind of triangle. This kind of triangle. Just flip it over. But the trick for you to do this kind of thing is like you print some space before you print the dot. Hopefully you got what I'm saying. And that's it for the basic level. We are going to the junior level. And for you guys, need to wait for me because I need to refill my water, and I will come back for you for the junior level. See you in a bit. Okay. All right, guys. It's time for the junior level. So I think you guys we need to go to the website called Geek for Geek. So like last week, I already give you the homework to read the merge joy. Not sure you Geek for Geek, something like that. So we talked about bubble joy last week. So this week we are going to talk about merge joy. Where's my sorting algorithm? in merge sort, merge sort. Sorry about that. So what merge sort is like that. Where's my Word document? Okay. All right, so I have some, for example, I have a list of number, like for example is 12, 3, 55, and 6, and 78, and 22, 34, and 66, and 2, 1, and now you have 7, and let's just say 98, something like this. So we have a list, right? Let me just have some, make it bigger so you can see more clear. Now you have a list of the number like this. If you want to shop it with the computer, so once we when we are talking about to do the shopping, and why we need to know something like this. So we want to know under the because in Python we already have the function called short. You can short it and with the function, but we want to know as the computer science. In the computer science, we do need to know under the hook and how we basically how the computer to do to shorting the links. So and it's going to help you when you are doing the CCC. If you understand that, and you will learn, you may have to do some finish some question with this one of this algorithm. So for the merge sort, that is like this. Let's think about that. Last time we do the bubble sort, and in a bubble sort, and what you do is like from the first one, and you compare the first one with the second one, like 12 with the 3. If 12 is greater than 3, and you swap them, like you get 3 and 12, something like this. And the second one, and you compare with the 12, the second one with the first one. If the 12 is greater than 55, and you swap it, but not here, so you will keep it like the same. So you just keep 55, and then you will continue to compare 55 with the second one with 6. If the 6 is less than 55, and you swap them, and after you do one run, and the biggest one will go all the way down to the bottom, and you keep doing this until all the is one round and second round, and all the numbers just go like the bubble, and if they are bigger, and then they will go all the way to the bottom, like they keep going to the bottom, like it's like bubble. It's like who is bigger, and then it will go up or it will go down, like this. Okay, but for the merge sort is different. Merge sort is like think about it like this. If you have two links, like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I have 11, so I have let's just split them into 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like here, like I have something like this. So I make 2 links. I split them. So the first one is like this. The second one is like this. Okay. So if I have 2, so the first one, round 1. In the round 1, So if we split them like this, okay, and if think about that, if you are lucky in after you split them, and you already got something like, how to say, think about that. If you call a function, you shorting that, you call a function, you short this list, and then you will have something like 3, 6, 12, and 55 and 78. Okay, just assume you call a function short this list. Now you got 1, 7, 22, 34, 66, and 98, something like this. Okay, I don't want it to go, just remove a space here. So why my 98 doesn't go up? I want my 98 go up. Yeah, here we go. So I got these two leaks. Think about that. If you have a function, very magical function, you will have these two leaks. If you have these two leaks, like this one, and these two, right? So these two leaks, you already have them shorted. So you want to merge them together, and now we want to merge them together, but in the other way, like other way. So how are you going to do that? Like if you want to merge them together in a computer way, so what we're going to do, just compare the first one, the first leaks, the first item, the index 0, and this one index 0. You compare these two, compare 3 to 1. So if which one is less, like here is 1, right? So we will take 1 from the first leaks, okay? From the second leaks, we will get 1, and then I will continue to compare the second one, like the 7. You compare 7 with the 3, because I didn't take 3, so 3 is still here. You compare here the 7 with 3. And now you compare 7 with 3, right? So obviously 3 is less than 7. So you pull out this 3, and you still have 7. And now the next round you are going to compare the 6 with the 7, because you have 6 here, right? I already finished the 3, so I go to 6. 6 compare with 7. So you would 6 is less than 7, so you continue to go to the next one, because 7 is greater than 6, so I will still keep it here. And now you have 12 with 7, so obviously 7 will be less than 12. And now I put 7 here, and again you would have 12 compared with 22. Now you have 12 and take out the 12. And now you have 22, because why we can do this, because we assume our list is going to already shorted in this way. Okay, now with the same pattern, same logic, and you're going to have the 22 on here, and you compare 34 with the 55, 34 with 55, because yeah, we are working on this way. So 34 with 55. So obviously it's 34, and you take out 34, and from the second leaks, and now you have 55, and you take out from the first leaks, and then you compare 78 with 66, so it will be just 66. And now you compare 78 with 98, and now you have 78, and then you have 98. The last one. The last one, because you don't have anything to compare, you left 98. So that's why you can just copy the whole things. If you have multiple one, like 100 here, you can just copy the leftover and dump it to the append it to the list, like here 100 and 98. So that's why we call merge sort, because you merge them, right? Assume you have two lists and then you merge them, and that's how we do one run. So you might have the question, how are we going to do the function to sort it? Sort like this way? And you're not going to sort them. Instead of you're not going to sort them, you continue to break them. Like in run 2, remember last time we talked about the recursive function, and you can continue to split these links. Like you split them into 12, 3, and you have 55, 6, 78, something like this. Okay, so you do the if you assume that we are calling another sort function, you will do the same merge join. And of course, for this guy, you are just split them like 22, 34, and you have 66. Let's say you have 66 and 1, 7, and 98. And now we go to round 3. Okay, round 3. So now you have 12, 3, because 12 and 3, right? And now you have another group of 55 and 6 and 78. And you also have 22, 34, 34 and 66. And this group is 1 and 7. Now you have 98. So something like this. So you have a multiple group, and now you can use the same method, like the merge join, to merge them. Like in the like you only have 2, right? So you can compare 12 merge with 3. So 12 is only 1. There's no you don't have to shop it anymore. So you merge them. When you merge them, you will get 3 and 12. You will return something. This one you merge them from round 3, this group, and you get like the short function called 3 and 12. Okay, and again for here, if you come over here, we do the same trick, and we compare the first one 55 with 6. So obviously you will pick 6, and now you have 55. Now we have 78, and for this group, and you will compare to 22 with 34. So you would have 22, and now 34, and 66 is followed with the last one. You don't have to compare them because 22 is pick it. So the whole list just append to the whole the return list. So again here you do just 1 and 7. So you would get 1, 7, and 98. And that's the return from round 2, right? And for again, if you got these 2 lists and you return for you merge these 2 lists with the same method, so you will get merge these 2, and now you will get this one. And if you merge these 2, you will get this one. So that's the magic function we are talking about. So let me just remove this one, this blur. Now you will see how you merge them all the way together. And probably you have a little bit confused. And let's just take a look on the gig for gig, and they will show you this map, right? So first they split them into two groups, like these two groups. And now again they split them into two groups until they just got one or two numbers. And it could be one or two, like what I show you, one or two, right? And now you can, if these two, I guess you don't have to split like this way. Yeah, you still can need to split in because you need to merge them. And now you split all of them into one, just one number. And once you merge them, and you can just short them. So now you come back all the way from two number, one number to two number to four number to 8 number, like, or 7 number. Okay, so that's the way we do with the merge sort. And if you scroll down, and you will get how they do it in different language, and you can do it in Python. So let me scroll down, and you can see how they do in Python. So I click here, Python 3. So that's what they do. So I may just copy the function called merge sort. Okay, and now I go back to the PyCharm, CCC, and we have bubble shop here, and I create a file called new, and now I do merge sort .py, and now I paste this function. Yeah, so that's the way they do with the merge sort. So again, if you like to study this algorithm, I will rather I want you to do like read all of them. And the thing is, like, you see there's a double slash, and double slash is mean like you divide something and you always just get the integer, like integer return integer for the result. Okay, and the way to split the leaks here is like you use the leaks, and you put from the 0 to the middle one, and from the middle one to the last one. So that's how you split the leaks into two. And now you can call the same function. You call yourself, and which is a recursive way. You call merge sort the same function name. You call them on here, and you call, once you call them, you short the array, this array, and now you return from here. You got the L and R. L is for the left hand side, and R is for the right hand side. And now you will do the while loop, and just what we did here, and we how to compare 1 to 1, and from the left list and the right list. And once you compare them, and you will move forward 1, like you will move out. If it is left, the first list is less than the last one, and you will increase 1 because you pick the last one. And that's how you just continue to move forward. And if something left, you can just append them to your leaks. So I'm not sure why they do these leaks, but you can take a look on this. So that's how they implement the merge sort. Okay, so that's what I want you to learn in your spare time, because I really want you guys to read learn to read, because I can't cover all of them for you. And the funny thing here is they mention something called divide and conquer, and which is a very good concept in computer science, because what they said for divide and conquer, of course, is come from the military strategy, and how you can divide, you can split your big problem into small problem, and so you can resolve one small problem, and then you use the same logic to resolve all of them. So that's called divide and conquer. Yeah, it's pretty funny if you can read them. And yeah, here we one merge sort is one of them, like merge sort, and also we have the quick sort, and which I will leave you guys for the next 2 weeks for quick sort. Okay, and yeah, like every week I will just talk about one topic about the algorithm, because I want you guys to learn about them. And now we will go back to the HTML, and this one is for you to learn the algorithm. It doesn't really matter for Python or what, and you can use Python, Java, or C, C++, or JavaScript to implement the same logic. But you, like what I said before, and most of this function we already have it in any other language. They already have it, and you don't have to do it by yourself. But we want to learn how to solve the problem in the computer, used in thinking in computer way. So it's good for you to learn something like algorithm, so you can know you can know how the computer work with the doing under the hood, and how did they do the sorting. Okay, so yeah, that's I think most of you guys have already read this one, merge sort. And if you have time, you go home and just copy the whole code in Python, and then you run it and you try it out, like merge sort, bubble sort, and try them out and try to understand why they do like this way. Okay, and again, and if you have time, you should do some CCC question, like not just 2020, and you can do 2019, 2018, and the past result, the past questions, and for each year. So if you have any question, just come back to me, and I may probably talk to you. Okay. Now let's just go back to the HTML, and let me just close all. Yeah, let me close out. And of course, if you don't have the Visual Studio Code, and you should use the repair it. Okay, like you do repair it, and HTML or JavaScript, whatever you like, and you can use the IDE like here. But I really like using the Visual Studio Code. So if you have it, then you should turn it on like Visual Studio Code. And now I'm going to open my HTML project. Now last week we installed two things. First one is the Bootstrap. So you need to put the first one like in the copy from the Bootstrap website. You install this line in the head, in the link, but you don't have to, but it's the good practice to put this link in the head element. And of course, you have to put the script file, like including the bootstrap JavaScript file and a jQuery, and also the popper is popper. So you also just copy and paste and put it here. Now you would have the big install these two library, JavaScript, jQuery and Bootstrap into your website. And now you have these two. And we also put our style sheet and put it into main CSS, and you put all your style CSS value into the main.css file, and you also put the JavaScript file script into your JavaScript file, okay, into your JavaScript file. And if you're working on the Replit, you can just do, they already create for you a script.js or style.css. But of course, you can have multiple JS file and CSS file, as long as you link, do the same link for them, and you can have main1.css or main2.js. So it's just a way to how to load them in your index.html file. So the only way you want to do it, just like you have them to point to the link them to the external CSS file. So now you understand they do the same thing for this package, right? But they just put it in a CDN, and because CDN is like the CDN, so it's another giant server in the world, and then they hold all these public library for you to for your website, so you don't have to put it in your own machine. And we call CDN, and then it's content delivery network, and they hold everything there and for everybody. So it is going to help the whole world to use less network traffic. Like everybody will have the same from the same server, and they don't have to load it one more time. Once they load once, and they just install into your browser, and they don't have to load multiple times. And that's the purpose we share the same library in our network. Okay, so I'm going to open the index.html, and it just last time we just have a button called don't click, and our script is going to it was changed the don't click to click it, so you can see what we did last time. And again, and if I want to open it, and I just go you can do Control O or Command O, or you can click the file and open. And now you go to click the desktop and choose the folder called HTML, and you have the index.html. Now you open it, you should have a red button here, or if you can have different color, because what you can control in the Bootstrap, you just change this one from like I put the class name called btn-danger. You can change it to primary, and you can change to warning, or you can change it to success. Let's just change it to success, something like this. Now if you come back here and refresh, it will turn your button to green. And how many value class name you can use for a different color, you can go back to the Bootstrap. You just type Bootstrap 4, because we are in version 4. And so you go scroll down to the components, because button is one of the components You see, where's my button? Buttons, yeah. So yeah, if you put primary, this name, btn dash primary, and now you have primary, and now you have success is green. And Angela said, can we switch to JSS? JSS is a bit harder for you guys because you might probably need to learn JavaScript first. And with the JSS, you should wait. Because for JSS, like you have to do first. They use for the React, right? You use for React, and with the JSS, like you change a little bit for the syntax for the CSS. So I guess most of you guys haven't do this kind of practice because you have to read a lot of document. It's not that easy for you just change to JSS. The reason we use the JSS like in the React because they can change the class name for you. Like you have the my button class name, like this my button class name, and what they when they render the website, this my button word is going to change to have some prefix between before the my button. So in that way, is like if you define something for this component, it won't mess up with the whole website. And the reason we are doing like this way because in React we are doing something in the component. So in the component, like you have a lot of component together, and you everybody just work on their own component. And so you don't want to define a class name and the other people, the other developer or the other programmer, they define the same name like what you define, and then we just mess with each other. So you don't want that happen. So that's why they have come up with this kind of library. So they help you to minimize those risks to minimize the risk to like have the same class name, so they won't make your component show different. But usually when we're working on a small project, and you can just go with the class name, and it's much more easier for you to understand. And if you go with the JSS, you would have to read the document and how to convert them, the CSS into the JSS. Okay, so yeah, we are stick with the CSS here with the Bootstrap, so you can do more experiment with the, like for example, I changed to the info, and it would be this kind of color. So I change one here. And now if you go back here and you refresh, and if you change to the blue, if I click it, it will change to cricket. Okay, so yeah, what I want to do is like if you click this one, I want to like for example, I want to, let's say if I click it, I want to make my button be bigger. So how am I going to do it like that? And you are going to your JSS file, and inside your click, and you change your text in your click inside the button. So at the meantime, you do like you want to change the size of your button. You can do CSS, I guess. So let's see. I go back to the jQuery, and change CSS. So you can change the CSS, right? So you can change the CSS. So you can come over here and you just change the CSS to different value. Like you change the CSS property name to the other value. So what you did here, you just change the width. You want to change the width. Now you want to have let's see, if for width, and I want to have let's try 100 pixel and see what happens. So I go back here, I save and go back here and refresh. Now click. Not that much. Well, let's change to 1000. Now I refresh. Now click, and now the size will be changed from you see, from 1 to probably 100 to 1000. So what I want you to do, just change, add one more code called CSS, and you change the CSS from the width to CSS value from probably from the original size to 1000. And now once after you click, and your button should be extend. Okay, once you're done, please let me know. Okay, if you're done, please let me know. Okay, so you just add one more line of the change your CSS for the button 1, the button. So if you click on it, and it should be extend, and because we changed the width to 1000 from the original size to 1000. Okay, so. And also we changed the value to cricket. Yep. Okay, so the other way to change the style in your button is you can add another class. Like in jQuery, you can add jQuery add class. So you can add one more class. So let's see. You just add a class name, doc add class name, and now you can just add a class. So before we add a class, we have to define a class name, right? So let's just say we add a class name. You use dot, and let's say extend. Let's just like change width, something like this. It's up to you, but you have to remember the name. So let's just say width is 1000 pixel or 1500 pixel. Is up to you. So I remember change the width, and you go back to the main.js, and instead of change your CSS directory, you just have the dot add class. So like in jQuery, you just add class, and now you add the class name without a dot, just without a dot. So my class name called change width, and without a dot, and so you can add this class to your B1. So I'm gonna show you what's the result, and then you can do it like this one. You can change it. Okay, so what you do is just add a class, and which you already defined in the main.css, just with the width 1000 pixel. And now you have once you add a class, and now you change the style of your button. So from the original size to the 1000 pixel this big. Okay, that's the way for the jQuery. And you just have to add class and change width, add the class name. Now how you can change the button width to 1000 pixel. Okay, and now after you finish this code, I want to add some animation, because I want to this add can be slowly expand instead of like you do click and then boom, all the way from small one all the way to here. So we are going to look into the animation in CSS. So but first I want you to finish this code, just add a class, and now you can change it from the original size to 1000, but this time with the jQuery function called add class, and use this method to change the width. And once you're done, please let me know. Right, Angela, if you want to change the text, and you should use color and red, something like this. Okay, you just add color red in your class, in the CSS class. So once you add that and you come back here, you refresh and you click, oops, doesn't change. What the heck? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it doesn't change for me. The reason is why it doesn't change. Yeah, because if you see here, and they already define the color for the if I expand this way and if we change, it doesn't change because they have something to override my color, because they already have this button info, and they have the color white. I'll show you. Maybe you can't see my screen. Yeah, so they have this class. They override my color. So in order to make your color much more important, there are two ways to do that. One is like you can like have more item here, like or button. Let me see what's my like. You have one button, and see if you can have more priority. You put button, and now you have let's see, refresh, and it's still not working for this one because they still focus, have my one. So probably you just add important and make your color is much more important. So you have the discrimination and important, and make your color more important. And this time, and it should be your one should be much more important, and that's why they always show your color is red in here, and instead of override by this guy. Okay, and they have some priority for the CSS because everyone using the same class, right? To try to keep the style for your same element, the button. And now I guess most of you guys have been done to add the class. So what we are going to do is just like go CSS and animation. So in W3 schools, they have the CSS and animation. So you can see that they have something like moving around. And if you know animation, it just like have different keyframes. Right, this class will end in 5 minutes. And in these keyframes, so it will let you define different frames. Okay, so for example, you can have the keyframes example from background color red to background color 0. So something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just copy this one, copy keyframes, and I put it in my CSS. I change a little bit here. So I have like, let's see, I have the just keep it example, okay? And but instead of doing the width one to change the background color, I will change the width from just change the width here, change the width here, and let's change the width from 100 to 1000. And of course, in the animation name, and I will do copy these two, and I copied here. And again, I just copied this URL, put it here, and you can come over here, and you know what I mean. So yeah, so I linked this animation name to example, and this example, and this animation should to play this animation in 4 seconds, and from the width 100 pixel to 1000. Okay. So if you add this class into your button, so it should play this animation. So let's see, and I'm going to do here, and So you will see it will expand from 100 to 1000. Okay, so you can have this. All right, so I think you can try a little bit for your animation, like from 100 to 1000, or you change to different values, and then you can play in different animation, like this kind of animation. So we call animation because they keep moving. And of course you can do a lot of animation, like this guy. They can turning around, or you can have more control of your animation, and like in different time, like one from this one, if you didn't have you have more more frames, like you have 5 frames, so that's why you just keep changing like this way. You have more frames, so you can play around with this this website, and you can understand how the animation work for the in the CSS, and they just show you different frames, and they will connect them together and play them nicely, like you changing like this. So what I want you to do, you just change your class and add 2 values. One is called animation name, and the other one is called duration. And for the animation name, you just like go to define a keyframes, and you don't have to be example. You can have a more meaningful name, like extend or extend button, something like this, and you can copy and paste, change here. So they will do the same, just a name, and you can define it here, and now you can extend them, and now you have 2 frames, and from and to, and this is how you do the first frame, and you have this CSS value, and the last one you have this kind of CSS value. Okay, and of course you can have the other or more frames. You can have more frames, like this kind of frames, and you can also reverse the animation, or you can do different one. Okay, so yeah, they have a lot of properties here and help you to do the animation with them. Also the speed and how you do the speed curve, and some of them is just equally to start and end, and some of them is when you start is slow and then it's fast. So that's how you define the speed for your animation. So that's how you do the animation. Hopefully you understand this and make your website and more interactive. Like if you have any question, please let me know. And otherwise, that's it for today. And don't forget to do your reading for the quick shot. Okay, just go quick shot and gig for gigs. So don't forget to do that. And probably next week we don't have the lesson because it's Thanksgiving, right? So yeah, go ahead to do this reading, and I want you to, of course, you have to run the merge shot again, do more reading. And for the HTML, yeah, it's a quick shot. Okay, quick shot. Sorry, it's just quick shot. And for the HTML, it's not that hard. It's just like how you read the document, and you read the document, and you understand what are they doing, and now you can play with it, and you figure out what it is. And if you have some, like for example, you have the transition, and they also kind of animation, and yeah, it's kind of animation. You can do transition, and not like the animation is easy. You just do the transition for the width, and you can do in 2 seconds, and they also can change from that to the 100 or 1000 if you want. And the same like transforms and gradients, shadows, text effects, and how you maintain the image with the image size, and you may have a shadow, and you might have for the media queries, and how you control for the mobile instead of your computer. So that's all. You can just come back and look up the document, and I don't think you can remember all of them, but if you have a question, you just come back to the website and take a look. And yeah, if you want me to go back to the code, and it's just like you define something called keyframes, and you have the first frame called from, and the second one is to. And inside the inside here is just some CSS. You can add more here. You can add more CSS. You just like you have a tick 1, and then you have tick 2, and we will spend 4 seconds to play these frames. Like if you put like 10 seconds or 100 seconds, it would be much more slow, right? So yeah, all right guys, yeah, you can change 100 to 1000, and don't forget, if it doesn't work, and what you can do is like for example, it doesn't work, and like if you click and it doesn't work, you can also debug like this way. I'll show you. If it doesn't work, you can just go inspect, and now you go here and see if you click on the button and see if you have the animation name here or not, and make sure that your animation name is the same like what you define, and also you have the animation duration, how many seconds here. And now you come back here and make sure they are the same, like extend button, but you don't have to be extend button, like you any name you want. And that's how you do with the animation. For if you the class name, this class name doesn't show up, like change width doesn't show up. The problem is with the add class, you probably didn't add the right class name here, the B1, and this one is the button. That's how the jQuery to grab the button from your HTML. So inside the parameter here, why we use the pound key? Because pound means ID. So we define the ID called B1. So that's why we have pound B1. If class is dot, you can use class name to find the element. It's up to you. But yeah, in jQuery you can do looks like the CSS syntax. And let me just go back to the code here. And yeah, and that's the only part you want. Yeah, the class is over. And if you still have a question, you can go to Zoom and talk to me. You can go to Zoom and talk to me. And the password, you know, right? So it's 68. So you can always go to my a Zoom, and then you can talk to me if you still have a question. But animation should be easy. Oh, one more thing, if you still doesn't show up anything, you got to remember two things. First, you need to refresh, and the other way is you do inspect. So you do inspect here, and then make sure that never you click this guy, disable cache. You choose network and disable cache, because it will cache. It will cache that. I can't inspect, so do I join the Zoom meeting? Oh, you did it on Repel-it though. Repel-it, let's try. I never try in Repel-it. Sorry about that. Let me try. Android, give me 1 second and see if it works in here or not. So let me just copy it, and I have a button. And I also have my of course I have my CSS file, and I also have my jQuery, and also in my JavaScript, and I just copy this part, and I click one, and don't click me, click, and I come over here because I need to add the CSS file. So I come over here and I define this one, and now I run it and click, and still working. Okay, so it looks like my one is still working. I see. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I just share my, let me save this. I will share my code to you. Alright, so let me see if you join the Zoom. Yeah. So I didn't see you join the Zoom. Yeah, you can join the Zoom, and let me just share the whole things to you guys. Share, copy, and now, and see if this one will run out. And you can come back here, and you should have the link, and you should have the script file copied. And also in the script file, you have this click, and you add the class, and in your style you have the class name, and you also have the keyframes. And now once you run it, you should have click on it, it will expand. Okay, so let's see if yeah, of course, if you have any question, please let me know, and just come to Zoom and I will help you out. Oh, the link doesn't work, and let me see. Oops, yeah, hold on 1 second, and let's see, share, invite someone. What, how can I just share to you guys. Let's see. Post. Share your report. Okay. Yeah. It's just some. Let's say in HTML. Submit. CSS. Wow, what's that? Okay. Let me see how to share. And yeah, what you did last time. Yeah, last time I did the same thing, but I don't know why you can get it. And I saw Angela is here. Is that the way I do? Okay. So can you try this one more time? Otherwise, you just come and go to the Zoom and I will help you. All right? Okay. Yes. Right. Yeah. Let me. You can show me your screen, and I'm going to let you show your screen. Yeah, you can share your screen to me, and I will work with you. Okay. All right. And B1, don't call me else, and click on this.
But like when I go on VS, it's just all white.
Angela, wait me 1 second. I just mute